Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Conversations with D. I have my special guests, Cam Jones and Phelps Jones.
What's going on? Appreciate you for having me.
Hey,
You're
yeah, going.
welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. So, how did y'all journey begin?
Um,
Oh,
yeah, we can
wanna
get
go,
right
cuz on.
into it. Yeah, I'm gonna throw you a hoop, cuz so.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin Phelps Jones, he's the son of Valerie Jones. And we grew up a bit in Detroit and Atlanta, and we known each other all our life. We grew up together, since baby. So, music has been a big background in our life because we actually come from a good cloth in the Jones girls, and we
Mm-hmm.
actually have had a lot of opportunities. And my cousin been playing the piano since he was about 3 or 4, and I'm gonna let him go ahead and tell you, how that got started and process and what we got
Yes.
into it.
Yeah, so like Cuzzo said, yeah, we grew up music all our life. I mean, we couldn't get away from it if we tried. I started playing the piano at 4. I remember the story, went to Farmer Jack with my grandma and mama, and Little Richard's Tutti Frutti came on the radio. And I went home or whatever I was 4, started playing it on the piano, and grandma like, oh wow, we just heard that on the radio, and that's how it all started and everything. So started off just classically trained on the piano and everything, and it carried on up to to be big part of production I do today, music being Cuzzo making everything. We actually started rapping and producing around the same exact time. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, uh, that's how it started.
That's awesome. So, being that, this is about the family and about paying respect, I would like to take a moment of silence to pay respect to your aunties, Miss Sheila and Miss Valerie Jones. So, if everybody can just give a moment of silence, I normally do that in the beginning. So, apologize for that. So, a moment of silence, paying respect and tribute to them. Thank you. So
Thank you.
it's important that you're welcome. It's important because everybody needs to know. Look, these ladies were very important. They paved the
Right.
way for so many people. So many people would not be singing if it were not for them and hearing their sound. So that is very important. So the journey started off. Of course, y'all met in Detroit, and that's awesome.
Right.
So growing up in Detroit, did you? Who were some of the people that you listened to musically?
uh, Man, all of Motown. Started kind of with McKinley Jackson. I'm not sure if you heard of him, but he was a really good producer. He was kind of like a mentor to me. So the oldest, Temptations, that whole pretty much, Detroit is just kind of legendary, the whole Motown era.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody, of course, our moms. I mean, the list just goes on and on from, definitely with the
Right.
soulful R&B. It started in
Right.
Detroit, you know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah. I mean, when you listen to what we put together, we listen to a lot of the same, Philly sound, Motown.
right.
I grew up, my mama. I didn't really even listen to rap like that up until a certain age. It was more R&B. My mama played R&B, neo soul, a lot of Erica Badu, a lot of Jill Scott. You know what I'm saying? And then I got a lot of R&B, old school R&B all the time. So you can hear that in our music because that's constantly what we listen to. Not even at that time again so young, we didn't even really know we came from that. We were still young, but we would listen to that all the time. So it's just embedded into it. You
Mm-hmm.
know?
So, with the
Absolutely.
music in general, with different hip hop artists, what do you think that has helped you to develop your sound?
Oh, I'll probably say just a combination of how we grew up. I mean, being around our moms, and we always were we listen to more old school music than hip hop and everything. You know what I'm saying? So I think a combination of that, and then a combination of me and Cam Jones actually finding ourselves as well in music, and it kind of just all came together, man. Paying off pretty good so far, if I must say so myself. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, the piggyback on what I said, me and him got together and gained the chemistry. We got that family chemistry, like kind of like the Jones girls. But anytime you guys,
mm-hmm.
you notice, like, shout out to the Jones girls, you got the emotions and you got Sad Sisters and a few other girl groups. And then you also got
Hmm.
brothers like the Migos. I went to high school with the Migos. They related. And anytime you related, you build a chemistry. You know what I'm saying? And me and my
Hmm.
brother,
Mm-hmm.
the chemistry is a little bit more defined than when people are just put together. And no disrespect to when you just put together, because I
Right,
like a lot of
right,
people that have had success being like that. But if you notice that anybody that has like a family relation or bond, they always have a little bit more of an edge, and that's the reason.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And
Absolutely.
mixing it with the fact that you all are in Georgia. So did that play a role too? Because of course you have your own sound originally, of course, and then
Mhm.
you're originally from the Midwest, and then the South, they have their thing too.
Right.
Was that hard to, did you feel yourself lost at any time?
Not really
Nah.
because
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I mean, we kind of were back and forth a lot. Like Atlanta's like my second home. I spent years down there. Went to high school there.
Mhm.
So getting a mixture of both sounds. Detroit has a different sound in hip hop as well. And you go to Atlanta around the time I came, it was the Lil Johns and the T.I., Jeezy, and everybody. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you never really know how things are gonna kind of affect you or play out in the future. You know what I'm saying? Like listening to all those different types of music. Like Cameron, he was back and forth to Detroit, coming always back and forth, years in Detroit. So it's kind of, you never know. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how it's amazing how it just kind of, it made me play the, big influence as well. Like, a kind of like a gumbo pot, everything, into
Right.
what we got now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I don't know if you know he's in Detroit right now, so he out there close to you,
Yeah.
D. Yeah. And to be honest, I feel like we kind of let the sound, our natural sound, kind of develop. But of course, I feel like when you
Mm,
hear me rap, you hear a little bit of Ti and a lot of the Atlanta because I am country, you know what I'm saying? And then you can't take that out of me. So when I say certain things, I rap certain ways. PJ tell me, I'm like, bro, I hear Ti in you because you got a little bit of that Atlanta swag, but I might not be rapping on the Atlanta beat. It's just a different kind
mm,
of vibe. But yeah, that's dope.
yeah.
Because when I listened to the songs, to me, the what I got, like literally, it was definitely your own sound, and then I definitely got a little like early, maybe Sleepy Brown mixed with
Right.
Nate Dogg,
Ah, I like
and
that.
Yeah, I've heard that song. Right.
yeah, and then Andre 3000.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
That's what I got. And like, no,
That's
that's a good
dope.
thing though. And I don't like to, and I'm not comparing at all. Like, 'cause
No,
some
no,
people,
no.
no,
I
no,
take
no.
that as
Oh, no, no,
Yeah,
compliment.
no. We
yeah,
said
yeah.
that's a huge compliment.
Yeah, because like I really, it was just like what they did, like what y'all were doing. It was on the
Mhm.
level of what they did, like back with Southern Fralica.
So the
That
playalistic
out,
Cadillac
yeah,
of music.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
so yeah, it was. And then what Big Boy, what he did too. And I was like, okay, I definitely got that. And then also what's his name from Goody Mob? The
Mm.
guy from
Yeah,
Goody
yeah, yeah.
Mob.
I heard that a lot
Yeah,
too. Yeah, I
yeah,
know. Yeah, Goody
yeah,
Mom. I heard that a lot too.
yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah. And
that's dope
Right,
so
they
for
all
sure.
from the same like
yeah,
umbrella,
they
the
Yeah,
Dungeon
yeah,
family.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
yeah, the
Yeah,
Dungeon
people tell
family.
me
Mm-hmm.
I hear a lot of Texas, Memphis, and Atlanta. People
Yeah,
tell me I go Outcast all the time, and it's like
yeah,
and I ain't gonna lie, man. We still got a long way to go, man. But when we hear stuff like that, it's like, man, okay, what we really on to, bro? Like,
Yeah.
what we really going up? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like
Right.
people ain't gonna tell you that for no reason, man. So we appreciate that.
yeah.
Not a
And the
new
Absolutely.
one
era.
guy, what's the
Eight
MJ
ball,
Jr.?
eight ball,
Yeah,
MJG.
A
the
ball
one that,
MJG. Oh
yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's my dog.
not the fast part, but like the slow
Yeah,
part, like when it was just the vibe, like when
right,
he came with the bars, kind of like some of the
Mm-hmm.
bars. I'm
Yeah,
trying to think of the song. It was a song, but definitely I got that.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
okay, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
That's dope.
yeah,
Appreciate that.
yeah, yeah. You're welcome. And so writing the songs, how did that process take place? Like did you have like the production part lined up, or did you start doing the lyrics with the bars and the hooks?
Well,
Well,
actually,
go ahead, cause we on the same
oh
time.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Right. Really, the surprising thing is we pretty much made every track over the phone except Dance Turn to a Romance. So I kind of, I do production cams on the phone with me catching the vibe and writing and everything. So that's kind of my system throughout the whole project. So it's kind of all made at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I kind of leave Cameron alone with the artistry and the writing. He wrote all the lyrics and he did the artistry and all the production and everything. So we kind of leave each other alone. We'd throw each other little ideas here and there and everything. But that's pretty much for every song. We knock out one boom. Then when I came down there, that's when we did Dance Turn to a Romance in person. So it's kind of a beautiful system we got set up, man. So we can work pretty much wherever we at, whether we together or not. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty cool.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
And do you
yeah,
like, since COVID is going on or whatnot, was it, how did it like help you with the momentum of the getting it together? Did it
Man, I
slow
think
it down or did it speed it up?
well, it did both, and Cuzzo can vouch. 'Cause if it wasn't
yeah,
for COVID, and this is this is exclusive right here. If it wasn't for COVID shut everything down when it did, we wouldn't have had "Who Can I Run To" featured on the episode
Mm,
on the song. We was in the middle of
right.
shooting that, and we only had the song at the time because we had just released the song. And Cody shuts
Mm-hmm.
everything down. And at the time, me and PJ like, yo, like, what we gonna do next, bro? Because all we knew was we was gonna go up there with the record and try to make it happen with the record. But it wasn't even really about that. But we was just gonna try to make an opportunity. And then it ended up giving us time to shoot the video. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, we was in the middle of making the project. So it sped things up because me and Cutto was on like a time limit the whole time. So it's kind of like both. It's weird. The
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
situation is weird. Like how it came together is crazy. Uh,
so with the
Absolutely.
whole I guess like with the music, so what led to introducing your mother's songs into it? Was that always something you want to do, or was that something that you just came up with, like, hey,
We were
it came,
let's
always
do
against
this?
it.
it came
Always
natural.
against it. Cause I'm gonna
Yeah,
let you
we
tell the story with that one. He got a dope story from it happened. Like started in
man.
London, like showing how we were supposed to
Okay,
do
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. And then I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna throw you the hoop. So long story short,
yeah,
it's crazy because we never wanted to do this. I promise you. And my mom would always be like, y'all need to sample my songs, blah, blah, blah. But she would say that like 2, 3 years ago. And me and Cuzzo was like, man, nah, man, because they so legendary. You like, man, would I look like doing something like that? You don't need, it's the thought process of it wasn't hitting, it wasn't connecting. So long story
mm-hmm.
short, I go to England. I go to England 2019 in October. I never forget. And me and my mom, we was headed back from a gig, a little radio event she had, because we had a few shows that we so we was coming back from the radio show, and then my mom, my brought my baby with me, and my wife. We was all out there, and they was asleep. And the DJ that was driving, he was like, "Hey man, here's some of your records." So I played what I had out at the time because I actually been rapping for a long time. I got other music too. So long story short, he heard it, and he was like, "Man, I like this or whatever, but you need to sample your mom. You need to sample your mom and aunts." Now, mind you, he said it like that because he got that London, accent, whatever. But
Hmm, hmm.
it was crazy. So it wasn't until then when I remember calling PJ when I got back, like, hey, bro, we might need to look into sampling. And PJ was still against it. So long story short, I ain't been back a day or two yet. I go pull up on my engineer, PJ. PJ know we like family. The one that he produced the whole project. So shout out to Bleed. So I pulled up on him and he was like, hey man, y'all need to I don't know what came over me, man, but call PJ, man. We was in the car just doing what we do. And he was like, man, you need to call PJ, bro. Y'all need to sample your mama and aunts, bro. You playing all these other samples. I need to hear something from the Jones girls and put pressure on us. I'm talking about like so immediately I
Crazy
called
pressure.
PJ and I'm gonna let PJ what Believe told him and the energy that came from that. Like it was
Man,
crazy.
shouts out to Believe because if it really wasn't for him and the situation in London, we probably wouldn't have did this project. You know what I'm saying? So they
Exactly.
called me. This wasn't even a thought, and I had sampled one of our mom and us songs way long time ago, but I left it alone. So Believe he like, yeah, man, you sending me all these beats with samples because I send Believe beats a lot or whatever. So he like, yeah, man, y'all scared to sample y'all mama and them music and all this and that. I'm like, what? So it came off as a challenge. I'm like, no, we just chose not to. He said, no, I don't think y'all can do it, man. So y'all need to, fuck with y'all mama music. Da 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 da. I'm like, man, all right, whatever, man. So we kind of went back and forth, but I mean, that was one of the best things that ever happened for us. So we got to work, man. And that challenge really turned into the
Exactly.
6 tracks we got now,
Exactly.
man. Yeah.
Exactly. And
So
then it
yeah.
get more deep because okay, so right after that now, I promise you I was working for Comcast at the time.
Hmm.
Right after that, like not even 2 days later, TV1 called my mom and some like, hey, you see what I'm saying? We want to make a move. And this was for the first time in 7 years. Yeah,
Mm.
so it
Uh,
was, I promise you. So we getting all these universal signals, right? So me and PJ finally locked in, like, you know what, bro? Bump what people think, all that stuff, pretty much, the stuff we had the conversation that we hit on before this, like, we don't care about that, bro. My mom is the only one still here. PJ lost his mom. I lost both my aunties to his fame. You see what I'm saying? Everybody trying to
right.
say, we say, look, bro, for me
Sorry.
and you to feel better. It wasn't even about none of this stuff that's going on right now. We say, man, we gonna lock in and do this for our mom and aunts, bro. And we don't care what nobody think. And it's been the
But
best decision we could have ever made. You know what I'm saying? For real.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's good that y'all did it because honestly, like it's better that y'all did it because we all know that people sample all the time. And
Right.
sometimes they don't even get permission to get it cleared. They just do whatever
Yeah.
they want to do. I
Yeah.
mean, I've heard so many stories where people literally they're like, we're gonna get a whole bunch of money anyway, so we'll just cash them out later. But and then also, the thing of hey, you got to go through so much just to do it. So it's better that y'all, it made sense for y'all to do it. I mean, it's like,
Mm.
okay, did you feel like it was a lot of pressure?
At
No,
certain
I
points,
wouldn't.
but not a whole lot.
As far as the
So
music, we never
I'm
thought
gonna
that.
let you
We just
get
had
into it.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as far
Yeah.
as maybe in
Exactly.
certain moments where leading up to the documentary, I
Yeah,
know I
nice over
felt kind of
champagne.
like,
Yeah,
oh,
nice
yeah,
over
nice over.
champagne was pressure. That's why I said that. But yeah, go ahead, PJ.
Oh, yeah, 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 nice over champagne. Yeah, we kind of went through that type of thing, the clearance issue with nice over champagne and everything too. But
Right.
yeah, I mean, the
Right.
nervousness, that's one thing I like about me and my brother, man. We never think about the pressure and the music as far as, oh, we got to make something to stand up to our mamas and all that, so we don't never even think about it. We just have fun. Like, once the fun dies in music, I mean, you might as well stop making it, you know what I'm saying? So we always try to keep that element, man, you know what I'm saying? But, because, yeah, if you want to tell the story about the nights over champagne situation, for sure,
Yeah,
you can
just
throw
to
the Uber in.
piggyback on what okay, because everything that we've done has been cleared through mom and the record labels and stuff, that relationship that we built, right? So nice over champagne, and of course it's to the public, so I can't give it to you how I really can
Mhm.
behind. But long story short, one of the writers is a good friend of my mom,
Mm.
and they had a little bit of friction. Me and my brother got caught in between that. So we had a record called Nice Over Champagne. I'm not sure if you was following me at that time, but it was actually a sample of Nice Over Edith. And it's really one of the favorites for a lot of people.
It's been
And it was
sampled a
Yeah.
couple
actually
of times.
Yeah,
But
out, right?
we had a
Yeah,
monster mix.
originally we had I sent to you too, but on some back scene stuff. It's dope. And my mom was featured on it. So we had originally, got verbal clearance from Cynthia, but we never did any paperwork. You see what I'm saying? So long story short, we got caught in the middle of some friction, and it's getting work. We actually, icing some things down now, so things are getting better, and we are seeing our open for it. So me and PJ will come back and revisit when the time is right. But long story short, that's a perfect example to piggyback on what you said. A lot of times as independent artists, you just get the urge to do something, and the business part might not be lined up. So the business is the most important thing before you make that move. You need to make sure that everything you got it all your I's and cross your T's because it can become problematic later. So you're exactly right about that.
Oh, absolutely. And that's a lesson that I think other artists and producers should learn from me and my brother, man. Like, just because your parents are somebody or they did this or that does not mean you can just sample their music if you feel like it. Like, it's a lot of little details that go behind the scenes. Like, did they own their music? Did they
mhm,
write it? Did they play on the
mhm.
masters and everything? That's real important. Like, that was kind of a wake up call for me because I'm like, oh, okay, so
Yeah,
it's a whole nother
yeah,
side of this we got to learn.
exactly,
You know what I'm saying? So,
exactly.
Mhm.
So we had to,
pray I
we
wouldn't
put
change
some
it for the
people on
world though,
that.
man. It was cool learning this.
Mm, yeah, so
Yeah, that's true. I mean, a lot of people they don't know that. Like you just can't. I mean, even, like for instance, even though when people give me the clearance to like play their songs, like YouTube still does not know it. So like you have to have it in writing and all of that.
mm,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's
Hmm.
it's interesting.
Oh
So
yeah.
it definitely it's interesting. So Fat Joe, how did that feel to because I seen he shared it or something, or he gave y'all kudos for
yeah, yeah, yeah,
something. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. We was
How
on
did
his
that
page.
feel?
It felt real good. I actually got to kind of meet him, not really meet him in person, but this was when the pandemic was heavy.
Mhm.
But long story
Mm.
short, I be helping my mama on social media, so I plugged her with Fat Joe, quiet as kept. You know what I'm saying? So he reached out to her and wanted to do just he got his shout out to the big show. You know what I'm saying? He got the big
Right.
show going. He's
Shout
still
out.
doing that right now. And he wanted to bring my mom up because Fat Joe was playing Nice Over Egypt religiously. He still plays to this
Mhm.
day. Those one of his favorite records. So he was playing it every day. So I manifested that. Cause PJ remember when I first found out Fat Joe was playing, I say, bro, I told PJ, I say, bro, I'm about to read Fat Joe because I kept seeing how much he was playing. Nice Over Egypt. So I just put it out
Yeah,
there, and
yeah,
then probably like 2 or 3 months later, I had met him. We was actually chopping it up, and then he just hit me up like 3 days ago. No cap. PJ, no, he just hit me up like
yeah,
2 3 days ago, checking on me. So
yeah.
yeah, we got a nice
Cameron
little
actually, Cam
relationship.
actually called that as soon as he saw. He like, oh, he play our mama song every day. Watch this, bro.
Yeah,
Like
that
Cameron is a
goes
beast on
silent, but
social
like,
media. People don't know. Cameron's a
yeah,
monster with that social
yeah,
media, man. Like,
yeah, he
and he
got
really
some
made that happen. Well,
Yeah,
absolutely.
well.
Fat Joe really he loves the R&B. Like
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
see it all the
yeah,
time. I'm like, okay, Miss
yeah,
Stephanie Mills, Miss Melba
yeah.
Moore, Miss Shirley
shouts out to
Jones.
Auntie Mel. Yeah.
He get his flowers.
He loves it. Yeah.
He
So
does.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's good that y'all got that because that lets people know like, hey, you know what? That's definitely a cosign right there. Letting people know like, hey, this person rocks with us and okay, let's check these guys out or whatnot. So in
Exactly.
terms of collaborations, what are some of your dream collaborations?
Hmm.
Mm,
Producing wise, I would say
yeah.
I would love to collaborate with Scott Storch for sure. That's like my favorite producer for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Of
He
course,
shook
Dr.
things
Dre.
up a lot. Yeah.
Oh
Scott
yeah, of
Storch.
course he
Yeah,
is.
he shook it up. Like
Oh
that
Yes,
whole
yeah.
he
scene when he came out, like I
Oh
mean,
man, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Storch, yeah, and Dr. Dre and
Hmm.
Quincy Jones. Those would be my top three. Quincy
is.
Jones for sure.
Yeah, I rock that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go. I gotta be smart with mine, so I need one legend. Like, so I'm gonna go. If a dream legend that I would want to collaborate with is Diana Ross, off the strength
Mm.
of everything she did for us in the family. And then I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
go back to the rap, because we know we kind of well versed. I want to
Hmm.
do a record with Lil Baby, because he's the hottest thing out right now. I would want to get
Oh
that
yeah.
collab. And I mean, you can't go wrong with Drake because Drake put everybody on. So like, if I can get a Drake feature,
Yeah.
I feel like the rest is
Yeah.
history. You know what I'm saying? So that's what
Right.
I'm aiming for, bro. I'm gonna put it out there,
Yeah.
let it come back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hmm.
So like
Yeah.
in terms of like a different beats, what beats would you if you would have done it, which song would you have selected if you would have done it?
If I, we gonna go back
Selected for
down.
the feature.
So like any song, like different beats or like, for instance, like I'm just throwing out Regulator. So that beat came from Michael McDonald.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
Can't
for
forget
instance,
about
if you would have,
you.
yeah. So if for instance, if that was a song that if you would have done it, how would you have done it? I guess. Yeah.
Okay. A song
The
from that.
beats. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
dang, that's a tough
Oh, the
question.
beat.
That's just
So
one
like if
example. Like it could be any song. It could be
so you
any
mean
one.
if it was just the vocals on there, how would I make a beat around it, or how would I
Yeah.
have? Oh man. That's one thing, man. I don't know. Like when you get some vocals like that, that's jeez. I mean, I would just freestyle it. Really, like Cameron does that a lot. He's send me something crazy or whatever, and I kind of make a beat to what he melodically and all that type of stuff. That's one thing about us. We don't really have a formula, so I wouldn't really have a go to. Like I would do it just like this or this. I just kind of let the energy talk, man. Let the words speak,
Right.
and it kind of tells me how the beat should go. You know what I mean? So yeah, good question though. That was tough.
Thank you. Or like
Yeah.
another way to look of it as well. So the second part would be if you could have made any song, which one would have been? Which one would it have been? Like any songs that's made out now, like with the beats that you could see, like,
Uh,
hey, that probably would be something that I would have came out with,
Probably in
possibly.
the club.
Mm,
50 Cent.
By 50 Cent.
Yeah, that's definitely
yeah.
that's some type of shit I would make for
That is
sure.
Cause
Um,
it was aftermath. Yeah, that was Dre
yeah.
and Eminem. Yeah, yeah,
yep, Eminem.
yeah,
Yep, yep,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. That's a tough one for me because
yeah.
I don't like to box myself. I don't know. Like I like a lot of music too. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
I really don't know, man. I guess I'd say just for I'm bringing it back to the family, and I hate to do this, but for the tranquil and the peaceful vibe that this record
I
has that
kind of
I'm
know
about
what
to
you're gonna
name,
say.
I'm gonna say nice over.
Yeah, I know
Like,
it. Yes,
Man, I
sir.
wish
That was a
I
good
wrote
choice.
that record, but that's a record that I wish I had something to do with other than being like just the kids. Like that
Yeah,
record's great. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like
yeah,
it's magically to it. So I like
Gotcha.
that about the song. Even if that
yeah,
wasn't my mom and aunts that I really like, you know what I'm saying? Ain't got nothing to do
yeah,
with them being us being related to them. That's a beautiful record. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like
Absolutely, absolutely.
every time you listen to it. So that's what I mean when I say that. Yeah.
Oh, I would say Billie Jean, Michael Jackson too. Yeah, that's the last.
That's another good one too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah,
good one. For sure.
And then even like the song, so even though this is sampled by your mother, so Foxy Brown,
Mm.
you gonna make me somebody else. I
Yeah,
oh
I
yeah,
could
yeah,
see somebody. I
yeah.
could see when I heard that. I was like, I could see somebody singing that, like literally.
Right.
I
Absolutely.
definitely
mm-hmm.
could, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I get that. And then when I heard the remake of Will Downing's Nights Over Egypt, that was dope. And then also what
Yeah, yeah,
Faith
yeah.
did
Like
with it,
yeah. Faith and then
yeah,
incognito
Yeah,
out
they
of
did their
Europe.
yep,
thing. Yeah,
yep,
Yeah,
they
they did
did
their
their
thing.
thing, yeah,
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 man. I mean that's the beautiful thing about music,
yeah,
man. Like you
mm-hmm,
feel me? Like you put your own rendition on something. I heard a new version of Who Can I Run
mm-hmm,
To by some young girls in Atlanta. I don't even know, you know what I'm saying? They playing it on the radio right now. So it just go to show you
mm,
like
really,
yeah, no cap. No cap. I promise you. It's been playing. A couple people hit me up playing it. Like, bro, you heard this yet? You know how it is. 'Cause a lot of people know that's
mm,
my mama. So, it's, people out here in the hood, they'll hit me like, bro, So I got hit by two people like 2 weeks ago.
mm-hmm.
The record, it's nice too. I haven't, I've heard it like once or twice on the radio, but I haven't found out like exactly who it is and been able to identify them yet. But it's a nice
mm.
record. Yeah. Mhm.
So in
Yeah.
That's
terms
crazy.
of the state of hip hop right now, where would you like to see that going in terms of what you all bring to the table? What would you like to see happen?
I would just say a little more of a balance. A lot of it, a lot of the music is something like besides ourselves, J. Cole, Kendrick, artists like that, it's kind of sounding really repetitive, same drum, like definitely coming from a, production standpoint too, but just kind of, a little more originality, kind of, like off the wall type, like the Migos, they just dropped that, Papa was a Rolling Stone, you know what I'm saying, like
Mm-hmm.
that. That's how,
Yeah.
if you're gonna keep doing the down south thing, step it up like that on another level. You know what I'm saying? Don't
Yeah.
just keep making the
Yeah.
same microwave music, like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because I'm, music talks to people, music touches people's soul, man. So
Well,
you can't just keep putting out
Mm-hmm.
microwave music. You gotta, put out something with some substance, man. So just,
yeah,
more
Yeah.
substance. That's what I would like to see. You
yeah.
know,
It's
yeah,
Juneteenth, so I'm gonna get even deeper with that.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, I'm the first one to pop in a trap rap. You know what I'm saying? Shoot 'em up, bang bang. But listen, man, as a black young man out here in these streets, you don't realize what we putting in this music is being received by these young kids, and they going and doing something
Mm-hmm.
while
yeah,
y'all sitting there with y'all feet up in y'all mansion. You know what I'm saying? They trying to act out what you
right,
rapping about. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
yeah,
let's look at it from that perspective. I don't know. I got records like that, but I had to put that down because I have a daughter now, and she's 3 years old, and she look at me, she look up to me. So I had to start being more mindful of what I'm putting in my record. You know what I'm saying? I ain't with all that shoot 'em
right,
up, bang bang. You know what I'm saying? Now don't get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong. I can get like you can listen to late at night. I can go there, but that's a different type of vibe. Like that's wrong, you know. But at the same time, I feel like we gotta be more mindful of what we're doing, man.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
getting
true.
back to
mm-hmm.
what I said,
Good point,
we
Cuzzo.
just need to
Yeah,
be more versatile, man. Everybody want to sound like everybody. Everybody want to sound alike. Be more versatile. Be yourself. Understand that in this independent game, everybody ain't gonna get famous. Everybody ain't gonna hit it big, but do it for you and nobody
right,
else. And that's how you gonna be able to really be
Amen.
comfortable with
fact,
yourself. You know what I'm saying? But this social media got people thinking on a whole type of way, different type of ways, and that's
Yeah.
why you got suicide rates and all this crazy stuff
Yes.
because you
yeah,
comparing yourself to the next man. And everybody want to be famous, but what they fail to realize
Mm-hmm.
is when you get famous, half these people that's famous don't even want to be famous no more, bro. Like, stop thinking like that,
yep.
man. Like, me
They
and my
don't.
brother,
They really don't want
yeah,
that.
I tell you,
Yeah.
bro, like, me and my brother, we done seen both sides, literally. Like, we lost two important family members to this fame, if you want to be technical and
Mm-hmm.
always real. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, bro, like, I just wish people would stop doing that, man. It's so toxic. Like, just enjoy life and enjoy the process and go as far as
Mm-hmm.
you want to go with it. And that's all that should matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just to piggyback
Yeah.
off that
People
too, because
get
I think,
caught up. People get
Man,
caught
yeah, I
up
think
so much.
real
Yeah, I think it's
bad,
a really
bro.
a followers mentality too, man. That's everywhere
Yeah,
nowadays. Followers, like everybody
Mm-hmm.
doing what's trending, everybody doing what's oh he
right,
doing this, so that must be,
yeah.
that's why I feel like
Gimmicky
everybody
rap,
doing shoot
bro.
'em up bang. But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that's
Right,
why
right,
me and
right.
Cuzzo, look, we got a record that we finna go perform in Greece. Dance turns to
Mm-hmm.
romance.
Right.
You think I'd be able to say that if I had these if I was just in Atlanta thinking about like these like some of my other fellow and kings and whatnot, and no disrespect to them because I love that. But it's like what I want some of these artists to do in Atlanta is know that it's a whole world out here. Cuz you ain't got to be boxed in Atlanta making the same music trying to
Mm-hmm.
find your
Yeah,
way out. You really
yeah.
can tap
Fact.
in on some of these other places, and they gonna love you more than Atlanta will. So it's like I just be
Mm-hmm.
trying to get people to understand that, bro.
Yes.
Fact, bro.
Like for
Fact.
real, the whole
Yeah,
world
because
out
the
here.
love overseas is different. Like they
It's
rock with you
right,
more. The support is
right,
bigger from what yeah, like
right.
literally.
I
And
perform,
it's
yeah,
really sad, but it
yeah,
yeah. And then
yeah,
some people become so like fixated with wanting to be like this person, but you don't even know how that person got that and what they had to do to stay
exactly.
there. And if you
Right,
found out, you wouldn't want to do it anyway. And then it's like, well, I
yeah,
gotta have that because so and so got that. And I'm like,
right.
Right.
but why do
It's
you really
looking
want it
good.
though? Yeah.
Everything look good on Instagram, but you don't know what
Mm-hmm.
phone calls these people making. Some of these folks can't even go out
Photoshop.
to eat. You see what I'm saying? Some of these
Yeah.
folks can't even leave their porch without having security, bro. Like, imagine that kind of
Yeah.
stress.
That's
Like,
like
you
a
ain't
prison of
trying
your
to
own
do
success,
this.
man.
I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah.
Like I always to me and
Yeah.
Cuzzo already said, and don't get me wrong, we in some people's eyes we slick, quote unquote famous, and that ain't even what we want. With me and my brother, we locked in like, bro, I want to be that guy that's a E or F celebrity that's able to go overseas
Mm-hmm.
and live for the rest of my life and put my feet up. I
Right.
don't care about the shade room and being all. I don't want all that attention, bro. I'm like,
The
give me
Right.
the
Insta
Right.
lane.
famous, yeah. Like somebody
Yeah,
is always trying to go viral. I noticed that,
I'm
and
trying to
it's
tell
really
you,
and it's so
Man, and the stuff
interesting.
people will do to go
bro.
viral
Like I'm
nowadays. Oh
sorry,
my
but
God, man.
the gorilla girl. I'm sorry, but that just really that was just an example.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
the gorilla, that was just no,
The
and
Yeah,
it
gorilla.
kind of makes you the
yeah, the
gorilla
gorilla
glue,
glue. I
the
know you
gorilla
seen that
glue.
Oh
that
yeah,
girl
yeah,
that put
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
glue in her
I mean, it's like, come on,
head.
man.
I mean, it was. I
Hey,
felt bad for her. I did. I'm glad they got it out, but it was
yeah,
kind of like you
yeah.
too old to be doing
I'm
that, sis.
telling
I'm
you.
sorry.
I'm
I don't know.
telling you.
And I seen what she thought it was. They do. It's something called gorilla snot, and that's the
Mhm.
actual stuff. That's the hair, and it
Right.
don't
Wow.
look nothing like gorilla glue. It don't look
Yeah,
nothing like
I
that.
seen
So
that too. Yeah, so it's
yeah,
like,
I
what
was
was
like,
you?
no, I'm not believing that. I'm
That's a
Once
sorry.
smart
again,
move.
that's the followers mentality. That's why.
Yeah, and then the women that was
Bro.
putting that thing on their mouth, that apparatus to make their lips look big, and then it was looking a hot mess, and then the cinnamon challenge. It was just like people were
Right.
just doing stuff, and it's like you should not do
Going
that.
on, bro.
And
Like,
yeah, and like
yeah,
Instagram, I love Instagram because it's cool, but like you could the whole interaction, I get it, but then a lot of times you see people and you're like, oh, I want to look like so and so, and I'm like, that picture is photoshopped probably, but okay. And that's not knocking nobody. Like, by all means, if you want to get surgery, that's by all means. Just make sure that person is board certified. That's all that I care about because I don't want you ended up dying or nothing. Because these surgeries, like the Brazilian butt lift, that's a dangerous surgery. If they hit your vein, you're done. It goes straight to your lungs and you're done, like literally.
right.
So,
So,
yeah, Instagram, I definitely get that. Like when you're, making music, you want to make sure that people, these kids are not out there like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go do what they doing in the song. No, be yourself. And so I definitely get that because a lot of these kids, they don't know no better. They don't have
yeah,
that
we so,
foundation. So
yeah.
they look to
It's,
the music.
yeah,
Yeah.
I hate to say it too, but I feel like it's a little room for improvement, but it's a point of no
Hmm.
return now. Like people just
Yeah.
and don't get me wrong, I'm out here in Atlanta, so the one thing I do love about Atlanta is just like
Hmm.
everybody, got something going on, they don't really be in your business like that for real, but
Hmm.
it's a lot of that. Everybody think they famous and whatnot too, so you just gotta balance it out, man. We in a new time, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's just
Yeah.
like, everybody in this competition. Well, I feel like we just
Hmm.
come together and just work a little, work a little bit more together. as opposed to
Mm-hmm.
holding ourselves up and just comparing and trying to be better than the next man. We'd be a little bit more successful. And, and don't get me wrong, we doing a good job, but we could do a lot better. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But,
And in terms of the competition, like how people are competing with each other,
yeah,
where do you think that the artist should step in and tell people like, look, the young heads like, hey, the older people like, hey, y'all need to stop doing that. Like,
yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah.
like somebody has to say something
But
like, don't
yeah,
do that.
yeah. But see, you got to know, a lot of times these young kids, they to a point, especially with the way the attention span is, they don't pay attention. You can try to tell it to them, and they feel like what they got going is best. It's that's how do I say where it makes sense? The social media stuff has kind of created a little bit more stubbornness too. They don't want to
Mm-hmm.
listen. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's why a lot of them just close us off, like consider old heads or whatever. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's weird,
And
but
so
it is.
in terms of like art, well, in terms of the hip hop artistry right now, like, do you believe that it's taking a step back? It's not so much like back in the day when you would listen to the songs, there was an excitement when that song was coming out, the releases was coming out. But now it's kind
Right.
of like, oh, okay, when did that come out? It's
It's
not
too
the
watered down. You can't keep up
yeah.
with it. It's just like, and that's the thing, because like, bro, the microwave mentality is not even existent overseas, and that's why they appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? They pulling out vinyls from 40 and 50 years ago. While
Mm-hmm.
we crashing people after what 2 3 weeks now. It's old. After 2 3 weeks now, you already uploaded to the next person trying to. It's like, bro, when did we become that way? Like, it's just
Mm-hmm.
weird, man. I don't understand it. It's like you got so many classic records that's timeless, but everybody want to put a time date on what's hot and what's not. I don't understand it.
I mean, it's just like
That's
the Beatles
true.
project. They probably not going. They ain't even gonna be talking about that next week, probably. I mean, it's like
That's
all the
what I
projects.
mean, bro. Like even some of your classic records are just like, especially in hip hop, bro. It's like that's why I love what me and Cuzzo doing because we got like R&B hop going. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, we can go.
Mm-hmm.
It's so the ceiling for us is so high. Like we can go, we can go wherever we want with this, and we're in our own lane. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I really want him to like, me and him to just keep locking in and doing what we're doing. Because don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, we've seen a little success at this point, but this
Mm-hmm.
ain't this is just the beginning. Like I'm even more hungry for it now because like, bro, like we deserve it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel, bro. For real.
Absolutely.
Oh, excuse me. So, do you think that in terms of the radio play, that they are controlling it more so than back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, they
Kind of
people,
being told what to
they
play and
people, yeah,
like,
they
yeah. I
pick and
mean,
choose who they want to let in.
a lot of good music.
Uh huh.
A lot of
Yeah.
good music out here. That's not really
Yeah.
made, but I feel like they need to
But
kind
see,
of.
that's the beautiful thing about where we at now. You don't even need radio. You got a lot of independent artists that's well known. You might not even be well known over here, but can go
Right.
to France, can go to Germany, can go to London and eat for the rest of their life. You see what I'm saying? See, I've been blessed. I had a paid show in London, so I know like it's you just gotta your mentality gotta be different, man. This might not be it for you over here. This
Mm-hmm.
movement and what's going on in hip hop. You
Right.
gotta understand it, bro. It's people all over this globe that'll appreciate you more than some
Hmm.
of the same folks in your backyard and right, your neighbors and whatnot. So, I feel like people just need to understand that, man, and grind. Find your area, find your niche, and keep on. Don't worry about numbers. Don't worry about none of that. Just keep on.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna
Absolutely.
connect you.
And some people don't know how to adapt either. Like kind of
Yeah,
like they'll just sit in a little space and they're like, "Oh, this is just it." No, like you have to be able to grow and evolve and know that over time like it's going to change and that's a good thing. And some people they sit in their comfort zone and then it kind of messes up with their artistry because it's like, "Who are you as an artist?" Like a lot of
exactly.
people you can say that it's like, "Who do we really know you are?" Because it sounds the same. And it's kind
Exactly.
of like, in a way, some people get image consulting, and then also some people they'll wait. I've heard of artists waiting, standing in their own, holding themselves back because they're like, look, I don't want to be viewed as somebody else. I want people to respect me and I want to have my own sound. So I'm going to work on my craft. And people have held themselves back purposely. And I've heard someone say, well, that's stupid. That's dumb. I said, no, it's not. Because at the end of the day, I respect the person that they want to grind and they want to have their own sound and they want to be an innovator and a creative versus somebody who just want to put out stuff just to put it out. Because someone has said something like, in terms of singles, some people will put a whole album out and just have a whole bunch of features. And it's just like, okay, but what really represents you? And why don't you just work on one single and make it like quality over quantity? Right. That's the issue that I see now is quality over quantity. You see a lot, they put quantity so much over quality. Yeah. And it's like, why do you do that? And they're like, I'll just go in the studio. And I'm like, you see it, people are just in the studio looking cute and they're not even putting in any effort. It's like the fact that they know it's accessible. You got people that got the money.
Following is the easiest way out.
Yeah.
Whatever's popping, you just go with the trend. That's the way to get out.
It's gimmicky music. TikTok music. Gimmicky music, man.
I went through a lot of, man. Your sound is too different, man. Like people ain't gonna never catch it. Like I went through all of that, man. It took me a long time to really hone my own. I never wanted to sound like nobody else, but man, that's why I understand like why some producers and artists don't want to go through that because I mean it takes a lot longer, but the payoff is better. You know what I'm saying?
It is because people respect it, and then with producers, like people want to work with you because you already you got something going on, and artists always need beats and tracks and stuff. So that's good for the producer side. But it is and rap too. But the thing about it as an artist, some people they'll just like do anything, and I'm like, you got to be selective in terms of what where you trying to go with your brand.
It represents you. A lot of people just time, man, where everybody clout chasing, man.
The cookie cutter.
Man.
Yeah.
It's so crazy, man.
Everybody look the same. Everybody look the same. It's like that look just like so and so. It is like, oh my god, like, and it's really interesting because I'm sure, like, I've heard stuff with, as you know, a content creator or whatnot, and you look around and you see like people are doing the interviews, and some people they do the interviews and they don't even like know the stuff. It's like you just want to interview somebody to get. And I'm like, wow, that's messed up. And it makes it bad because then they don't want to do the people don't want to do interviews with, you know, people like myself and other people who be wanting to do it, just to like celebrate people and, keep it moving. But I really see that. I see like, wow, this is really messed up. And so the industry has to do a little bit better. Like you got a lot of these people in the industry that, hey, you gotta put that foot down, say like, we're not putting this song out. This is garbage. Go back to the drawing board. I think it's a lot of yes man kind of like, oh, put that out.
Be like a hip hop union. Like a lot of our forefathers hip hop need to like Grandmaster Cash and the Furious Five and all of them need to be at like a union for hip hop, like a panel. Like fathers, they kind of regulate
quality control. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have some type of standards. I feel like it ain't really no standards in hip hop no more.
It's not. But that's the thing. Once you found out once you found out that you could create it at home and people figured out, you know what? I could do this too. Right. It was like pretty much, you know what? It's a race more so than a marathon.
Right.
There's no effort. And it's kind of like, okay, what makes you different from the next person? And then, I got 12 CDs out. Well, 12 albums out. And then you're just like, okay, but they sound the same.
Right.
So, but no, that's the thing. And, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess, if that's what they want to do. But for me, it's about respect. Like you want to be respected. So in terms of like, for instance, we just seen the verses or whatnot. So how do y'all feel about the verses?
You mean what even
the series in general? Like, how do you feel about the versions?
I like it, man. I like
Yeah.
For the younger audience, it reminds them like, yo, man, y'all be trying to disrespect the older, so bad. You know what I'm saying? Remember this, your favorite song, your auntie and your grandma,
Mm-hmm.
they listen to this. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I feel like it's a benefit for everybody, man. Like reminding you of the
Yeah.
hits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh damn, they did do
Yeah.
that. And like,
That's one thing that came from COVID. Like I feel like
Mm-hmm.
COVID has been a blessing too, cause you got so many artists. Like shout out to DJs like D Nice and
Mm-hmm.
DJ Clark Kent. They
Mm-hmm.
playing the Jones Girls, Melba Moore, Kathy Sledge. They playing uh I'm talking about Shalimar, you know what I'm saying? All
Yeah.
these iconic records giving these folks they flowers, bro. And that's what I mean. Like
DJ Cassidy.
45-year-old music, DJ Cassidy, salute to
yes,
him for putting Dukes on BT. Like that's
Yeah.
major, bro. Like
That
you
was dope.
bringing that back, making it relevant again in a time where they trying to sell them up and just be on some more stuff. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, bro, come on, man. I'm definitely blessed to be living in this time, and some certain things we gotta thank COVID for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's so many things that wouldn't have happened without COVID. You know what
I
I'm saying?
definitely agree. It just pushed some people to a little bit harder, and that's great. And then it made people sit back and think like, you're sitting on so much talent, but you're
Right,
wasting it
right,
by
right,
not using it. And so that's what
right,
it did for a lot of people. It pushed them and it gave them that encouragement to say, you know what, I
right.
can do that too. There's so many people that are doing the same thing that a person would like to do, and they're calling themselves experts, and you could be an expert too. What's stopping you from being an expert?
right,
So it's like, why are you waiting for people to qualify you when you qualify yourself? God has already qualified you.
right.
So that's the way. And then the verses, the best one to me was Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Ha.
And yeah, that was the
That's
best
dope.
one to me
Yeah,
because
yeah, I like
it
that one
the,
too.
the old school, because it just showed camaraderie, the fact that they made good music, and the fact that they all were friends, and it just was
Mhm.
like, wow, this is dope. They made
Yeah,
all these songs, and then the impact, the legacy that is
yeah,
obviously had in terms of individuals. I mean, just like when I listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire, when I listen to the Isley Brothers, I'm like, okay, okay, I've always been a fan of their music. And so just to see
yeah.
them up there and just, that was
Yeah,
dope.
Oh, oh,
I was here for that one. And I liked the late DMX and Snoop. It's
Snoop
sad to
Dogg,
even
definitely
say,
that
it's
say
was
that.
hard to say that. It's
It's
hard.
hard
I'm
to say that
still
now.
like getting used to
Yeah,
saying that,
yeah,
because
yeah.
but yeah, so that one was dope. And then D'Angelo, that was a good one too.
I like his. I didn't see his the
Yeah,
whole thing with his, but I
yeah,
did like his.
favorite song.
yeah,
I gotta salute Monica and
yeah,
Wendy.
yeah,
That
that
was
was a good one
hard.
too.
That stood out to me. What's he called? The trainer and Ease wasn't bad. Yeah, it was. I
I
mean, I
forgot
guess.
about that one. I legit forgot about that one.
Yeah. I tapped in for a minute. It was pretty solid. When when Trina brought out Trick, that was one of my favorite parts. When
Hmm.
she brought out Trick, that was hard. You know what
I
I'm
liked
saying? I
Erica
mean,
Badu and Jill
yeah,
Scott's too. That one was another one that
yeah.
was good.
Miss America
So
Badu.
Yeah.
Patty
Oh,
LaBelle versus
yes, yes.
they played Nice
Gladys.
over Egypt. First
Yeah,
record they
Yeah.
played. Like DJ played Nice over Egypt at 8 o'clock when they turned the thing on. So I gotta salute them because
Hmm.
you know
yeah,
what I'm saying. When I tapped in, I thought I was tripping. I'm like, hold up. Nice over Egypt playing on before the verses. That was the first record you heard.
Hmm.
So it was dope, man. Just seeing like 'cause me and PJ, don't get me wrong, man. We just 32 years old. He'll be 33 soon, we
Hmm.
like we still learning about. So it's like, dang, okay, like we
Hmm.
realize just how close and just how, how much of an impact these folks had on so many people, like, our family
Hmm.
and so many other legends. So it's dope, man.
mm-hmm.
Real.
And of course, I liked SWV and Escape.
That was dope. That was dope.
That was
Yeah. That
dope.
was
The
but
only thing I
yeah,
didn't like was, I wanted to see them bring out the legends and say thank you for the songs. Like, thank you, because someone did do, pay respect, but I wanted to see them bring out, your mom. I was hoping they was gonna do that. I was like, please
man, we
do that.
tried.
Please
Listen,
do that.
Yeah, yeah.
we pushed for it. PJ know, like I did everything I could to make that happen. You know what I'm saying? But man, don't get me wrong. Much love to
It would
Escape,
have been right. It would have been right to
like,
me, like,
but and
yeah.
another thing was they didn't even say anything, so that was another thing that
That
threw
was
me.
kind
But we
of like
did
it
end
was
up
surprising.
coming.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it was like a slap in the face a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool. I mean, because
Mm,
one thing to show, two things for certain, man. Especially now, I feel like a whole bunch of people that didn't know within the last month they found out. What the real
mm,
is. So we ain't
mm.
tripping, man. The Jones girls, everybody know, man. They royalty just like a lot of these other groups. So
Yeah,
come
absolutely.
on, man. We not even finna
yeah.
box in and get into
They
that
did.
today.
I mean,
Yeah.
exactly. So I was just like, I think like versus going forward, I would love to see them bring out the legends. I mean, like bring
Right.
out the people. Like if there's songs that you know that that's a song that you sampled or covered, you should bring out
Right.
that
That's what
person
I'm saying.
and
Yeah.
say thank
Yeah.
you, and even do and have them
Yeah.
sing the song.
Right.
I would have them sing this. So I would even sing. I'll be like, no, I want you to sing this. I want everybody to know that this is your song. This is you who did this, and thank you for the opportunity and paving the way.
Right.
That's just like, I mean, we gotta
And
do
even if
better
you
with
ain't gonna
that.
do all that, just
We gotta
mention
do
it. You know,
better.
'cause
Just mention it.
yeah, just mention it.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause, okay, this is the thing that blew me with that. And don't get me
Mhm.
wrong, we had,
Yeah.
y'all know, I actually publicly went out and let people know how I feel about the
I
situation.
seen it and I was like,
Yeah,
I thought
and
I was the only one that
but
felt
but
that,
we
but yeah.
corrected it though because it
Yeah.
was an interview that was placed and one of my
Uh-huh.
homies interviewed Tasha and Tasha spoke highly of my mama. Tasha,
Yeah.
so we kind of iced it. But what I'm saying is this: the only thing that blew me is you get on there in front of all these people, me, the whole world, and talk about the song being sampled from your rendition. The first,
Yeah.
let's be transparent. The first song they played was "Might Be" by DJ Nasty. Cuz, come
Right.
on, bro. Like, what are you doing? It could have been the
Mhm.
total opposite. They should have been playing the
Mhm.
Jones Girls rendition. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So it was backwards to me. They said, "Oh, our song has been sampled so many times," but you don't talk about the fact that your own song is a sample. That was
Yeah.
like mind blowing to me, bro.
Like they would have
Yeah.
originated. Like
Huh?
that's how it came across to me. Like they wanted people to think they originated the song or something.
Yeah, bro. Like, that was mind blowing to me, dog. You know what I'm saying? So don't get me wrong. Now I ain't tripping. Much love to Escape because, like I say, even though it's
I mean, you
kind of
gotta go out
behind the scenes,
there, bro.
yeah, yeah, it is what it is. We ain't tripping on that, man. I still got a lot of
Yeah.
love, but it's like, it's
Yeah.
still certain things about this industry or whatever the case that just be like, wow, like, what are you
Yeah,
doing?
it's like
You
give
know,
credit to the originator. That's all they saying. I
yeah,
mean, look,
you know, I,
yeah, yeah,
I think it got more. It's egotistical, man. You know what happens with a lot of artists is they kind of get, now I don't want to say the big head, but it's a lot of things that go on to make people feel like,
mhm,
for whatever reason, I'm a little higher than you or whatever the case, and that is what it is. That's how this industry go. But I'm gonna spread love. That's all we about. We spreading
yeah.
love to everybody.
Amen, amen.
So
And that's all that. Yeah, exact. Yeah. And so the song now to so what a shame, late at night, and who can I run to? And you, how did those songs all come together?
yeah,
Ooh,
we got quite a few on there. We got Dance Turns to Romance from my mom. We got
Hmm.
Connection. Those songs. I mean, yeah, I let PJ start because he actually produced them. You feel me? And
yeah.
then I kind of pick back.
The first one we started with was of course, who can I run to? And I'm not gonna lie, man. It was I don't know what happened. I ain't really huge on like oh my goodness, like I felt my mama's energy come, but my mama's energy I felt it in the room for whatever reason. Them beats just came out back to back to back. I was knocking them out like, and it kind of started with who can I run to, and then I think after that was late at night. Then it just kind of went back to back, and Cameron was right with me, flowing. You know, what I'm saying coming up with melodies like right. It kind of came together quick, but it was kind of a slow process. If that makes any sense, it was kind of crazy, man. Like at one point, we just kind of had to sit back, like God, then look at God work, man. It's all just falling into place, man.
Amen.
Right. Exactly.
It- you know,
Exactly.
we just go with
Yeah.
the
We
flow.
are.
Have a
Yeah,
plan.
we
We don't.
just yeah, like we kind of said earlier. It's never no pressure with me and my dog. Don't get me wrong. We butt heads, we brothers, but we always, get through it, iron out things. Man. You just gotta
Mm,
understand when you locked in on level with me and Cuzzo, it's like I think me and Cuzzo finally starting to understand where we at now. Because, don't get me wrong, it ain't about all followers and all the Instagram stats, but we was just introduced to a lot of people. and I'm
Right.
starting to finally see like what we did and the connectivity that we did to get up to that point, and the connection that we build and continue to build is
Man.
it's
Yeah.
amazing, man. You know, we really just love making music. You know what I'm saying? All the extra that come with it is cool, but we just love making music, bro. Like, and
Absolutely.
I think that as long as me and brother stay like that, we don't, you know, the sky's the limit. You know
Sky's
what
the
I'm saying?
limit,
For real.
man.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in terms of I guess like with so we're gonna play that in a few as well. So I want to make sure I play that. So that song is coming. So in terms of tours and the new album, where can we I mean like where when are we gonna see something with that, I guess?
Well, the project is available
Yeah.
on a
Yeah.
streaming platform.
Yeah, it's available.
Uh,
Yeah, on Spotify. It's available on all platforms, but in terms of like the touring, the concerts and stuff like that.
yeah, we
Yes.
got stuff lining up. Yeah, we got stuff slowly brewing up. I got few things that I'm gonna do in the city in Atlanta, but PJ's in Detroit and I'm in Atlanta, so it's like, you know what I'm saying. And then with the whole COVID just not letting up, and they on the whole vaccine thing, it ain't as easy as it sounds right now. You know, for a
Mm-hmm.
lot of us independent artists trying to get back out there. But we got London next year in
Mm.
April, and we got Greece. And to me, like, you know what I'm saying, that's I don't care what nobody say, cause y'all say how y'all feel about me in my backyard, but them the ones that's most important to me. So that's where
Yes,
I'm
sir.
at. Like, it ain't too many people that can say that, regardless of when it's
They
coming
giving
from.
the
It's like,
money. They giving
yeah,
the
you feel
money
me?
over there.
And
Yeah.
we cashing out. So it's like, bro, like,
Hmm.
it's up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might not really seem like, because it's kind of hard to move around, and me and Cuz still on the fence about this vaccine. So just being all the way transparent. I don't know when you gonna see me on the stage in the States, but I can tell you,
Gotcha.
you're gonna see me on the stage soon, across that water, doing what I love to do in my element.
No,
You know what
that's
I'm saying?
right. I know that's all right.
Being all the way
I know
transparent.
that's all right.
Uh,
So we're
absolutely.
going to play a little of
Mhm.
late at night. So let me get that going right now. Can y'all hear it?
Yeah, yeah,
Can
yeah.
y'all
We
hear
hear
it?
it.
You
Yeah.
can?
Uh-huh. Vaguely.
They're gonna cut us off, so that's why I cut it off. Where Cam go?
He'll probably be back. His phone
It
must have
says
overheated or something.
device is not connected.
Oh man, his phone probably
Oh,
overheated.
okay.
Yeah, it's all good. I know he gonna hop back
Okay.
in. Yeah.
So where can we all find you at?
Well, on Instagram, my name is Phelpz Phelpz Jones 24, and Cam's Instagram is I underscore am Cam Jones, so I underscore am Cam Jones. And on Facebook, my name is Phelps and Phelps Jones. Cameron is Cam Jones, and we also have a Jones Connection page as well on Facebook and Instagram. And yeah, man, that's where you can find it. There you go,
You upside down, you
Mr. Cam
sideways.
Jones,
What
Mr.
happened?
Cam.
What?
My bad. Yeah, somebody called me, man.
Oh,
Oh, I
it's
I'm
know
it's
how that
over
goes.
here.
okay. It's okay.
But
So we played a little. We're giving you. We're giving the screen names. I mean the IG. So Phelps Jones 24 at IG,
Yep.
mhm.
and I am
Yep.
no
And Phelps and
I
Phelps.
I
underscore
underscore Cam
am
Jones
Cam
on Instagram.
Jones at Instagram.
Cam Jones official on Facebook. Look out for us, man. I'll be hitting the stage somewhere in Atlanta soon. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting some stuff together with a couple of my guys. I actually got a guarantee. I'm actually flying PJ down here too in a couple of weeks. We're gonna do. I forgot about that. One of my guys out here on the north side. You feel me? They hit me up. They want me to do just a listening party. We're gonna vibe out. I might perform a little bit there. It's gonna be in the city too. So, what I'm saying, I ain't sharing. I don't want to make it sound like I'm sharing Atlanta out because I love Atlanta, but
Mhm.
I have been across that water and I see where the real bag at, and I love traveling. So that's like they don't want that really, really
Oh,
keep
Yes, sir.
exciting.
everybody say that. Everybody
We have
say that.
seen the
You're not the
mountaintop.
only one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, them the ones that
Yeah.
really exciting about it for real. But you know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
here. We working. Don't get me wrong. I know it's been a minute since I performed, but I'm coming. And people know how I rock when I hit the stage. So yeah, we coming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
Mm-hmm.
it's been a pleasure. And everybody make sure you go stream Late at Night. What a shame. Stream the
So
whole album. It's on
one, two,
all
dance,
social media.
leave. Yeah, go get
Absolutely.
that. Yeah, go get that. Jones Connection. J
Jones
O
Connection
N E S
EP.
The Jones
A
Connection.
E N E K S H U N E P. That's on all platforms, featuring my brother Phelps
Yes,
Jones and
sir.
me. Man, y'all look out for us, man. We coming.
And
Much
make sure
love to
y'all go
everybody,
watch
man. Happy Juneteenth. Yeah.
and make sure y'all go watch the Unsung TV1, the Jones
Absolutely.
Girls.
On TV
Make
One,
sure
baby.
y'all watch that.
Yes, sir.
Get it while you can, because you know how like because some of the other episodes aren't available. You have to like
Yeah, they
really
cut them
find
out.
No, they
them.
gonna play. They gonna keep playing it though. Yeah, they
They
gonna
They
gonna
keep
gonna keep
playing
play
it.
playing
them,
it,
but
but
you have
but
to
we still on
record
DR
it.
right now. Yeah, we still on
You got to
DVR
make
right
sure
now.
you
So
record it, yeah, and
mhm.
keep it saved on
And if you got on
DVR.
demand, you can
Yeah,
always pull it up. Yeah,
so
yeah.
You can't
If you got
find
on
some
demand, I
of them
think it's
on
always available on
demand,
demand.
like the
yeah,
older ones. You
For
what
can't
real?
find.
doing? Yeah, you can't because they smart though. You got to remember now they do a season, right? So what
They
they
trying
do
to,
is
yeah.
Mhm,
they give you one season on demand, and then they may give you one or two for some of the other ones. But then what they
mhm.
do, I found out recently because of the way it's actually operating, is they have an unsung thing, and it just swings around. So you just go, it's like 300 episodes. You gonna pop back in, you know what I'm saying? So you got to catch it when it's live, when it's not on that DVR no
Mhm.
more. That's how it works because they try to keep the little ratings going
Yeah.
even when it's not near.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. That makes sense.
yeah.
That makes
So they
sense.
can't
Mm-hmm.
just keep giving it to
It's all
you
about ratings.
again,
It's all
even when
about
you
ratings.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have a great one, and also happy Father's Day. So
Yeah,
everybody,
thank you.
happy Father's Day, and
Appreciate that.
I will see everybody next week. I have Roger Ortega coming on. That's my
Awesome.
next guest. So check that out. And
Appreciate it.
Okay,
you guys
dope.
have a great one. Thank
You
you.
too.
No, you as well.
Same
And
thing,
Appreciate
God
you for
brother.
bless.
having us. For sure.
Bye.
All right.
Bye. Thank
Much
you,
love.
Stay
everybody.
safe.
All right, y'all be
Be
good.
All right,
safe.
y'all.
Bye. Love you.
Bye now.